Hi, welcome back to Cherry Bepsi. My name is Mandeep, or Mandeep if you can't pronounce it. So this episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Okay, I feel like we've lost the plot somewhere, okay, right? There's just so much going on, and it's like, what happened to the central story of the literal title of this show, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Like, the first episode set that up really well. They have Sam and his backstory, Bucky and his demons, and I thought it was gonna be more about like setting up their stories and like following up on their personal traumas and hang-ups and stuff. Maybe coming to terms with the fact that the Captain America mantle itself is kind of tired and doesn't really work well for the 21st century, especially in a post-blip world. But no, now we're on like 3 different side quests. Like, where are we going? There's like Zemo, there's the Flag Smashers, there's John Walker and his plotline, there's the Power Broker. Sharon Carter is not used to her fullest ability at all. And I'm like, I feel like people were very happy with the pacing and like the character growth of WandaVision, and I feel like we're really getting the short end of the stick. Is it because WandaVision was about mainly a woman, so they're allowed to develop her character more, whereas Falcon and the Winter Soldier is about like 2 men, so they're not allowed to like have feelings? Like, and I also figured out what it is that I didn't like about this flavor of queerbaiting, but we'll get into it. So I'll just start with a quick recap of the events of the 3rd episode, and then I'll, comment on it as we go. They start off with like a commercial for the Global Repatriation Council, which I do actually like. I like that they're setting up a little bit of world building. It's very clunky, but I like it. Like, I could totally see this very inept, very implied to be corrupt global organization trying to like basically do what like the World Bank has been trying to do for developing countries for decades after a bunch of white people came in and ruined their economies, So I did appreciate that. I also appreciated when Hoskins and Walker are like, first of all, they're 3 steps behind Bucky and Sam, but they show up, nobody's giving them any answers, and then he's all like, do you know who I am? And then that guy spits on him and he's like, I know, and I don't care. And I was like, yes, spit on the face of American exceptionalism. We love to see that. And it's like, what can you even do? And also, okay, here's my thing. He's already getting so hot-headed. Listen, we already knew that he was gonna go crazy at some point. He was gonna go super aggro. He was gonna like, whatever, lose his shit. But he's doing it so fast. Like, he was like so calm and collected in like the 1st episode, and all of a sudden he's just like, do you know who I am? And it just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And I think it's just another pacing issue, because I didn't realize that this whole run was only going to be 6 episodes, because it just seems like a lot to get done in 6 episodes. I guess they kind of have to have him go like kind of crazy in like a short amount of time, but it just feels so out of nowhere and rushed, because again, didn't they supposedly like vet this guy? Like, weren't they like, oh my god, he's so calm under pressure, he's so consistent, like he is the next Captain America? Like, you would think he would know how to be a little bit more diplomatic about his emotions, but like, he is a war criminal, so oh my god. And they busted out Zemo. I was like, are they really gonna do this? Like, again, I just don't feel like it's a necessary plot point. Like, they could just do it on their own. They didn't need to bust out Zemo. Or they could have done one of those, like Silence of the Lambs. They can consult with Zemo from his jail cell for a bit and then go, whatever. Maybe they can FaceTime him, It's a post-pandemic world. We can communicate with war criminals from their jail cells over Zoom. And what I also hate about it is I knew from the second Zemo got more than like 15 seconds of screen time The white Marvel fans were gonna lose their shit, and they sure did. Literally, like, one of the most popular like characters coming out of the show so far is Zemo, and I knew this was gonna happen. I was like, people aren't gonna be shipping Sam Bucky, and none of these white fans ever want to connect with and identify with actors of color or characters of color. And also, people aren't even, you know, as excited about Bucky because he is attached to Sam. I literally tweeted about this. I predicted this whole thing. I'll put the tweet on the screen right now, and that's also why, you know, you should follow me on Twitter. But you know, but I was like, there's gonna be some irrelevant white man side character that all the white fans are gonna go crazy over. And what did I say? Sharon the Carter shows up. Literally, oh my God. Okay, so here's something that I do want to talk about. I remember people hating on Sharon so hard after she kissed Steve Rogers, and that was because, once again, a lot of the fans had like projected themselves and self-inserted themselves into like Peggy, so they didn't want to ship Steve with anyone else, and they thought that like Sharon was like some kind of bitch coming in to like steal their man. But I'm like, first of all, it's not real, honey. Like, it's not real. Don't worry about it. You can still read your self-insert Peggy x Steve fan fiction, okay? And also, people hated on Emily Van Camp so hard after that. They literally wrote her character out of the like upcoming movies after that. And I'm like apparently the rumor is that Natasha's character in Winter Soldier was originally supposed to be Sharon's. The rumor is that Scarlett Johansson wanted a bigger role in the MCU or whatever. They wrote her character into Winter Soldier instead of Sharon, which probably would have made people a lot more sympathetic to Sharon rather than just kind of dumping her into Civil War and then having her kiss Steve out of nowhere. I don't know, because I will say I fucking hate the Russos. Like, I despise those men. But like, they were like one-hit wonders with Winter Soldier. Like, that was the best that Natasha has ever been written in the MCU ever, period. And the fact that it was originally supposed to be meant for Sharon is just so funny. The thing was, I actually already liked Emily Van Camp because I used to love the show that she used to star on, Revenge. And it was just like crazy to me seeing all these people like viciously attacking her online for playing a character that they didn't like. Because it was like literal adults doing this too. Like, I mean, children, y'all also shouldn't be doing that, but also like, you're immature, your brains aren't developed and stuff. So whatever, I guess. Your parents should cut off your internet connection though. But like, grown-ass women, and probably other people too, were just like attacking this woman for doing her job. Like, you think that she was like, I want to kiss Chris Evans? Like, no. He probably has bad breath. Anyway, I am obsessed with her character. I liked her before. She was kind of bland, but you know, but right now I'm like in love with disillusioned Sharon. Like, she hates the police state. She hates America. She hates heroes. And she was wearing such a cute outfit. Like, she was giving me bisexual in charge vibes the whole time. Like, she had the pleated tapered black pants and like the black button up, and like the whole scene when she was just like taking out all those guys while they're talking to Nagel, I was like, ma'am, are you looking for a wife? Yes, I do the cooking. Yes, I do the cleaning. I was raised to take care of my wife. I was raised to serve my wife, you know? Oh yeah, while I know that this is already all over the place, but listen, you already watched it, okay? Let's be real. You already watched the episode. So I don't need to give like a completely accurate recap. But when Bucky, Sam, and Zemo are on his like private jet or whatever, and Sam and Bucky are talking about like Marvin Gaye, and Sam's like, oh, you know, like, you know, Bucky has his like little book of atrocities where he's like crossing out all the people that like he killed or something, I don't know. And then Sam is like, oh my God, that's Steve's book. When we first met, I told him about Marvin Gaye, and he loved him, and like he loved Trouble Man. And then Bucky is like getting super jealous, and he's just like, I listen to Trouble Man, it's fine, I like Marvin Gaye. And Sam's like, okay, but Steve loved it. And then Bucky's like, oh my God. And it's like, this man wants to fuck his bestie's ex so bad, but he's like the bro code, but it's like, you know, they're gonna smash at some point. I just thought I should mention that, you know, for our Sam Bucky nation out there. The power broker thing, it's just so messy and muddled and so unnecessary. Like, who cares, right? Like, who cares about the fucking power broker? I don't. But what I did love was Sam's new outfit. Sam's suit, I was a fan, you know, like he looked like every B-list male actor that shows up on like the Oscars red carpet in like a printed suit and thinks he's doing something, you know? We love that for him. When they made him eat the eel, okay, I did laugh. I'm sorry, I did laugh. King, thank you for doing that. Thank you for your service, okay? And then, did anyone else audibly scream when Io showed up? I was like, the Dora Milaje are here? And it's like, of course they're here, because Zemo literally killed T'Chaka. I'm just thinking about Chadwick Boseman. But yeah, so yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with that. I feel like I'm gonna try and do an actual like episode reaction for episode 4. I ended up doing an episode recap and commentary for this one because, you know, like that Jennifer's Body video ended up taking a really long time to edit. If you haven't watched it, you should go watch it right now. It's honestly a masterpiece. I would submit that as like a college thesis if I was still in college. There's always grad school, but yeah, so because of that, I didn't really have the time to do an episode reaction last week. Depending on how much time I'll have this upcoming week, maybe I'll do another thing, just combining episodes 5 and 6, if that just turns out to be like easier for my schedule, or I'll go back to like weekly uploads for 5 and 6. We'll see how it goes. Let me know what y'all prefer. If you have no preference, that's fine too. Oh, I also saw that people online were like sending hate to John Walker's actor, and I'm like, again, y'all please stop being stupid. He's just playing a role, okay? Why don't y'all send some hate to actual shitty actors? Like Mark Wahlberg, right? Is he the one who like assaulted the random Vietnamese person that was just living their life? Yeah, fuck that guy. I always get Mark Wahlberg and Matt Damon confused. Look it up and then send hate to him, okay? Because he deserves it. Let me know, of course, what you thought of this episode. Oh wait, if I'm gonna be putting the episodes together, I'm doing my outro too early. Okay, you know what? No outro. Forget what I said. Well, I mean, you can still comment. You can comment about both episodes. Yeah. All right. I'll see you for episode 4. All right, listen, I know I said that the next episode recap thing was gonna be a reaction, but I started watching it and I realized I didn't feel like a reaction was gonna be good enough because there was just a lot to talk about. So I just decided that I'll just do a talk through recap of this with you guys. If I seem a little bit out of sorts, it's because I didn't like this episode. I think I just don't like where the show is going in general. Also, I just realized that my sweater is on inside out. I'm a mess, okay? Anyway, so this episode, I feel like it's just kind of going back to my initial like problems. It's trying to tackle way too much and none of it feels like it's getting the attention it deserves. None of it feels like it's being fleshed out or thought out properly. Whereas coming into this, I thought this was gonna be a centered story on literally the namesake of the show, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now it kind of just feels like the MCU trying to use this show to try and like wrap up all of their loose ends and like loose plot threads that never got resolved in the movie, you know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then like maybe also set up like a new universe of heroes and stuff, like the new Avengers, and it's just not working for me. That's not what I signed up for personally. Once again, I gotta bring up, why does Wanda get to have a whole like alternate multiverse thing that's just focused on redeeming her and getting into her psyche, and then Sam gets relegated to a background character in his own story, or supposedly his own story. Also, I don't even like Sam Bucky that much anymore because it's like Bucky is acting like such a dick. Like, okay, once again, I'm just gonna assume that you've already seen the episode. If not, you can pick up on some context clues. But there's a part where the Flag Smashers, they kind of kidnap Lamar or something, or Walker thinks that Lamar has been kidnapped. And at this point, he has gotten his hands on the last remaining vial of the Super Soldier Serum because Nagel, the guy who made the new version of the Super Soldier Serum, is dead, and Zemo went around and stomped on the rest of the vials, but he missed one when he was like running away from Walker when he showed up, and Walker pocketed it. And you know, he has like a brief conversation with Hoskins about it, like, oh, do you think if you had the chance to take the serum, would you take it? And Hoskins is like, of course I would. But I feel like honestly his answer wasn't that serious, because like he's kind of going off of the presumption that there is no more super soldier serum, so it's like entirely a hypothetical question that can never be answered. So it's kind of like a jokey answer, but I guess Walker takes that like seriously. I don't know. It's like they want to be like this very far-reaching deconstruction of like the superhero industrial complex, right? But you can't have your cake and eat it too, because I know that they're probably going to end this by defeating the Flag Smashers, because, you know, like even if their ideology is good, they're not doing it the right way, and upholding both the American government and the superhero industrial complex. But they want to be like given credit for like exploring all of these ideas and all these different things. And it's like, listen, I just signed up to have like a stupid military propaganda queer baiting show about my two faves, and now I have to think about all this shit. Like, first of all, y'all aren't even doing a good job of it. So it's like, if y'all would have just stuck to that fluffy, unintentionally homoerotic garbage, then yeah, okay, I could get on board. But like now I'm like, y'all are just, it's like they're trying to run a race, but like they have no shoes on, they don't have any pants on. All they had for breakfast that morning was like a stack of pancakes from McDonald's and no water, and they're just tripping all over themselves. I don't even think they're gonna make it to the finish line. Like, there's 2 episodes left in this series. I don't know how they're supposed to wrap up all the plot threads and give us like the character development and growth that we want to see from Sam and Bucky. Because remember in like the 2nd episode, Sam and Bucky were kind of like, oh, well, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to see you again. And then they were like, okay, yeah, after this, we're just never going to talk to each other ever again. And it's like, at this point, I think maybe that would be the best choice for y'all, because it's not even like y'all don't like each other. It's like y'all don't even speak to each other. So there's a part where Sam wants to speak to Carly alone, right? He asks for 10 minutes. And then Walker, Zemo, Bucky, and Hoskins are all waiting outside. They agree to give him like this leeway moment to talk to Carly and stuff. And like, you know, he starts philosophizing. We'll get to that. I think I might actually make a separate video about how badly Marvel is fumbling the bag with all this deconstruction of the philosophy and morality of the superhero industrial complex, because I just have a lot more to say. And I'm not gonna make this like a recap video like 45 minutes long or something. But so while he's doing that, it seems like he's getting somewhere with Carly. I don't know, I guess. I think the implication is that he's supposed to be getting somewhere with Carly. And Walker busts in, right? And like before that scene, you get a scene of all of them, you know, like waiting outside. Walker is like, oh fuck, you know, I don't want to wait anymore. Let's get in there. Bucky stops him, and remember, at this point, Walker is just a regular human being. Bucky is a super soldier. He can easily stop Walker if he wants to, right? And Walker is like, don't you want to go? That's your partner in there. He could be getting killed. And Bucky's like, he's not my partner. And yet Walker busts in there anyway. So the implication is, did Bucky just let him go through because he doesn't care to give Sam that space? Or did he get actually worried about Sam and his well-being or whatever, in which case they should still have a confrontation and conversation about it, because he doesn't trust Sam, right? If Sam says, hey, trust me on this, and Bucky still doesn't listen and thinks he's in trouble because he doesn't think he can handle himself, that's another thing that they need to talk about, because Bucky did not have his back on this one, and he never gets called on it. Another thing that pissed me off about Bucky is Io shows up to be like, hey, we want Zemo because he literally killed our King T'Chaka, and y'all illegally busted him out of jail for no reason. Because honestly, this could have been an email, this could have been a phone call. Y'all didn't need to bust him out of jail for this. And then Bucky asks for 8 hours, which is like, okay, whatever. And then he immediately goes and tells Zemo that the Dora Milaje are after him. And I'm like, okay, of course he's gonna start figuring out an exit plan after you tell him that. Why would you tell him that? Are you stupid? Yeah, he's stupid. These people got him a whole new arm with the most cutting edge technology, a vibranium arm, and they can't even hand over the guy who killed their king. Like, what is he doing? What is his deeper motivation here? It's not like before where it was like he was fighting for his livelihood. What is this? The Flag Smashers? Am I supposed to believe that Bucky just has this ingrained ideological belief that there should be borders around the world, so he really wants to take out the Flag Smashers? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then Zemo gets his shot to like philosophize, and he starts talking about like, oh, you know, basically the super soldiers are also kind of like Nazis. And I'm like, okay, I can see where we're going with it because it's like eugenics, all that shit. And then somehow they get to saying that the Flag Smashers are supremacists, and it's like, supremacists of what? You can't just be a supremacist. What are they supremacists of? Flag smashing? Like, you can't just throw words around and pretend like they just mean whatever. This is what I mean when it's like the show has such empty ideology and such lofty ideas that don't really go anywhere, you know? Like, what am I supposed to do with their supremacists? And like Sam brings it up to Carly, and he looks so stupid. Y'all made my man Sam look so stupid because he's a black man talking to another biracial refugee talking about your supremacist. Like, Marvel, why did you do my man Sam like this? He's not stupid. Has anyone done like a breakdown of how much screen time and how many lines Sam has gotten in these episodes? Because I feel like it's not a lot, and I would love to see the breakdown on those numbers. Okay, now let's talk about Walker. So he pockets that little last remaining vial of super soldier serum. There's a point when Hoskins is like kidnapped, taken hostage or whatever, and I guess because he's so worried about his bestie, he injects himself with the serum. It happens off screen. You literally don't even see it. Unless you do and I just missed it, but whatever. If it did happen, don't tell me. And then, you know, Hoskins ends up breaking himself free. They all meet up in one little area, and it's like Sam, Bucky, Hoskins, Walker, and Carly, and they all start fighting and shit. And then like Lamar goes after Carly. Carly pushes him back, but she's super soldier powered, so she ends up pushing him really hard. He ends up hitting like a pillar the wrong way, and I think it snaps his neck, or the impact was too hard and he dies instantly, I think. And you know, everybody's like, oh my God, you killed Lamar. And I'm like, of course. Why am I not surprised that Marvel, they decided to introduce a new black sidekick character and kill him off? I'm actually kind of pissed. Like, it's just so stupid. I hate Marvel. And so then Walker goes berserk, obviously, because the serum amplifies your emotions, and I guess his primary undercurrent of emotions is aggression and revenge. I don't know. And so he busts through the window, goes after Carly. Carly is gone, of course, but he sees another Flag Smasher, chases him down. The Flag Smasher's like, stop, it wasn't me, I didn't do anything. And Walker catches up to him, throws him against the steps outside of like a memorial that's like out in public, and then uses the Captain America shield to bash his head in like repeatedly until he's basically just like mashed potato on the sidewalk. And then, you know, last shot is all the people catching him in 4K and him like sliding the bloodied shield onto his arm. And once again, I'm like, okay, what was the point of that? Y'all, like, Marvel loves to introduce like this empty imagery. Like, okay, the imagery of him holding a bloody Captain America shield is great. Where are we going with this? I feel like the only place we're gonna end up is we're gonna retire the shield, like the Captain America shield, but we're gonna continue to keep the superhero industrial complex. Whereas, like, you know, like Sam's just never gonna become Captain America. He's just gonna stay this, like, the Falcon. Maybe he'll get an upgrade, like he's Captain Falcon. Oh wait, isn't there already a Captain Falcon? Whatever. Like, that's the most I can see coming of this. And it's like, once again, this just gets back into my thing of, if Walker had all these underlying traits of like aggression, anger, revenge type tendencies, like he's so unstable, why did they choose him to become Captain America? Like, because they talk about like, oh, you know, he's so level-headed, he's so consistent, he's such a good leader, and it's like, I would think that because of these traits, supposedly, he would at least have a more like complicated downfall, but it was literally like from the first episode you meet him, he starts to get aggro with everyone. And I'm like, what? Oh, you know what? I agreed to have a phone call with my friends, so I'm gonna go real quick. I'll come back later though. And hopefully I will have my sweater on the right way. I'll be back.
तुझे मैं